Now, the Supreme Court justices issuing orders letting the so-called travel ban from 6 nations deemed as terror threats to be enforced in its entirety while the case is being litigated. Supreme Court Justices Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor sided with the groups that oppose the revised presidential order. Here to break it all down, this breaking news is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Anna Napolitano. So what does this all mean?
All right, there's a long, tortuous history here, but reduced to its essence, this is the third of the president's executive orders on travel. This is the one that incorporates the Supreme Court mandated exceptions for relationships that are here. So a relationship means a relative by blood or marriage who's here that's expecting you, or a job or a university, a student position offered to you in the United States. Those are huge exceptions that were not in the first executive order, were not in the second executive order, and the president himself deemed watered down, but he put it in the third order. The other side of this is it does establish for the president the right to point to countries and say, all human beings from these countries will be subject to the extreme vetting because we believe these countries to be more likely than not to produce those who are dangerous to our national security. So it's a partial win for the president and a partial win for those who thought the original order was a little bit too strong. To make this even more complicated, this is just a preliminary ruling by the Supreme Court. This is not the final ruling that we're all waiting for on the constitutionality of the president's power to craft.
When's that coming?
I don't know when that's going to come. But, EMAC, the 7-2 vote today indicates how that other case is probably going to turn out. The other case will establish definitively the power of the President of the United States to use the immigration exclusion provisions given him by the Congress to effectuate foreign policy and keep the country
we know
safe.
the politics of this. We reported it here. President Obama was for this in the past when he was as a senator. Chuck Schumer has backed it. John Kerry has backed it at various points in time. What's the implication of this? I mean, thousands of refugees are poised to come into the United States from these areas.
Well,
so
the implication is for people coming from those countries who have visas already, they get in using the ordinary vetting. For people coming from those countries who have relatives here waiting for them, a job here waiting for them, or an offer of a seat in a university, they get in through the regular vetting. But for people coming from those countries who are not in any of those three categories, visa, relatives, blood or marriage or job offer, they go through extreme vetting. It's not an absolute bar. It's extreme vetting, which gives great discretion to DHS to bar people.
This is about national security.
Yes.
It's about terrorism.
Yes, it's also about the president's power to conduct foreign policy unimpeded by the judiciary.
Well, that's my question. I mean, you had courts in California and Maryland and other places, Hawaii, trying to step in and stop this process,
Let me tell you why Donald Trump should be happy. All of those decisions in Maryland, in Hawaii, in Washington State that accuse the president of making decisions based on race, all gone.
Because of this ruling today.
Correct. They are of historic value only. They are all gone. This is the ruling that controls.
So then, so is this embarrassing for the lower courts, this decision today?
Having been a lower court judge that was reversed many times, I can tell you get over it the next day when you get your next case.
So what does the Supreme Court see that the pundits, the liberal pundits, did not?
The strong history of Supreme Court recognition that on foreign policy, the president is not equal to the other two branches of the government. He is superior to them. And then foreign policy, we speak with one voice, which is the president's voice. And the congressional authorization to the president that he may interfere with immigration in order to effectuate foreign policy.
Judge, you clear that up. And you did it all in like less than 3 minutes. Thank you. I was thinking, what the heck's going on here? But thank you, Judge. Always terrific. And see you on Varney. You're one of Stuart Varney's favorites, aren't you?
Right and early on.
Okay.